Life Curriculum, learning to address impairment and fatigue to enhance patient safety. Program directors are both teachers and physicians. Among their many duties is the need to deal effectively with physicians with impairments or with physicians who are performing suboptimally. Although there are many causes of impairment, most instances will be handled similarly. All of them should be handled by experienced people who are part of your professional resources.
3 principles should guide your approach to any resident you see as having problems that are going to require assistance. First, be alert in your observations and quick in your interventions. Time here is very much the essence of the matter. Do not ignore a problem. Don't wait for it to solve itself. It won't. And think carefully about who you're going to talk with so that you can get proper advice. In short, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. The earlier the intervention, the better the chance of recovery. Second, as a physician, your first impulse will probably be to take care of the resident yourself. This is noble.
But ultimately ineffective and self-defeating. Ignore this urge. Do not mix relationships. Your relationship as a program director with a resident is that of a teacher with a student, not a doctor with a patient. You are an evaluator of performance, not a diagnostician, and not the treating clinician. It is important that you allow your professional resources, such as the Employee Assistance Program or your state's Physician's Health Program, to take charge of the evaluation and management of any doctor with impairment. The Departments of Risk Management and Occupational Medicine, or in some cases Human Resources, may also be well equipped to handle impairment. Another critical constant is the Designated Institutional Officer, the DIO, or the Graduate Medical Education Leadership. These professionals have experience dealing with impairment and are able to function neutrally and therefore effectively. They can also share with you the experience of other program directors and trainees at your own institution, reminding you of the resources of which you may be unaware. Once an impaired resident with an impairment has been identified and the appropriate resources have been marshaled, certain procedures should be followed.
Once a resident has an impairment that has been identified and the appropriate resources have been marshaled, certain procedures should be followed. In our institution, after we confront the resident, describe the problem as it has been reported, and produce the supporting documentation, we then follow a 5-step protocol that ultimately should lead to either a correction of the problem or non-renewal of contract. The purpose of this protocol, if you will, is to articulate in written form what we are doing to remedy a situation and to set up an appropriate timeline. First, a full description of the complaint along with supporting documentation is compiled.
Second, we outline the process of remediation and include a timeline for that process to be completed. Remediation may include drug testing, inpatient treatment schedules, therapeutic sessions, and the like. Remember, you are not coming up with these remediation plans. You are using your resources, such as the Physician's Health Program, to determine what is necessary. Third, we provide a description of measurable goals, milestones in the treatment course. For example, if the resident has a problem with attention resulting from attention deficit disorder, we outline the tools we will use to measure mastery of skills taught to help accommodate the disorder's effect. If the problem is substance abuse, we draw up a plan for inpatient and/or outpatient treatment. We set dates for return, for future testing, and dates for the specific assessments along the timeline. Fourth, we very carefully describe the consequences of the resident's success or failure in meeting the defined goals. This can include a continued period of rigorous observation, full return to work, or non-renewal of contract, and in some cases, dismissal. And finally, all of this is put into writing and forms the basis of a learning contract. It is then dated and signed by the program director and the resident, and then forwarded to the Director of Medical Education.
The ACGME competencies are essential components of this contract and can specifically identify key areas in patient care, medical knowledge, practice-based learning and improvement, interpersonal and communication skills, professionalism, and system-based practice. The contract is important for several reasons. It formalizes a serious situation. It provides a clear and permanent record of steps required to correct the situation, and it forms the basis of a bond between the residency program director and the resident. The contract clearly identifies a specific performance and/or behavior which the resident must achieve to demonstrate their competency. It clarifies what the resident must do, how it will be measured, and how feedback will be provided. It says in so many words, we are here to help, and this is how we can.